got in touch with the famous Norwegian climber named Magnus Midtbo, who has already passed all these tests, the results of which I'm ready to share with you in a few seconds. In the meantime, as always, enjoy my Ukrainian accent and let's begin. And before I show you what Magnus is capable of in terms of his strength and endurance, I wanna say a few words about him. Magnus is a world champion climber. The athlete is 34 years old and since 2017 he is no longer competing. His main activity is currently running his own YouTube channel with 1.7 million subscribers. He has almost 500,000 followers on his Instagram and he owns his own climbing gym as well. But he started right after his high school graduation and never finished anything after that. You can imagine the risk he took and how much he put on the line for his career and dreams. In fact, such achievements give us rights to talk about strange results of climbers according by Magnus results. First, I suggest you to look at how he managed to do 5 muscle-ups, 5 push-ups from the bar and 5 pull-ups in one approach. For any calisthenics athlete it's very easy, and as you see for Magnus it does not cause any difficulties. And I note that for the climber muscle-ups are very clean and perform without any momentum with legs. Push-ups from the chin-in bar and pull-ups are even better, so climbers are definitely know how to do basic calisthenic movements. Next we go to the gymnasium and see if Magnus can do cross on rings and planche. For those who do not know, these are two elements of extreme complexity in gymnastics, and it is almost impossible to perform them without any specific training. First comes the cross on rings. At first a professional gymnast explains the technique to Magnus and gives him a special bands to make this movement easier, to prepare the body and neuromuscular connection for the upcoming load. Next, the movement itself. And in order to be counted, the cross must be fixed for at least 2 seconds. Wow, that was pretty good hold from the first time. I think if the athlete would have worked on this move purposefully, he would have no problem holding it for longer, so that is pretty impressive. And now the king of calisthenics, the planche. Here I'm honestly almost 100% sure that from the first time Magnus will not make it, and so it turned out. After all, it's very specific load and these elements should be trained purposefully. As you see, even closed planche is given to an athlete quite difficult. Well, let's move on and find out if professional climber can do a front lever and pull up on one arm. I will tell you right away, you'll be shocked. One-handed pull-up Magnus does 50 repetitions per workout. But it's not surprising because this movement climbers need even more than calisthenic athletes. Here in this video Magnus even makes a one-handed muscle-up. You can see it yourself. But I was shocked at how the athlete managed to do the front lever. On the high bar he was hanging for 18 seconds. 18 seconds, Carl. Once again, if Magnus started immediately on the low bar, the result would have been few seconds higher, because the phase of raising the body usually takes a decent amount of strength. Honestly, I did not expect such a huge result. On his channel Magnus has various videos with different militaries when he is trying to pass their standards. So right now we will try to find out how much strong is climber with the additional weight and who is stronger, 220 pounds military or Magnus Midtbo. The first move was the deadlift. Not a typical rock climbing exercise, but Magnus managed to lift 308 pounds on 3 repetitions, while the soldier lifted 485 on 3 repetitions. But it is not surprising because the body weights of the athletes are too different, and there is definitely no reason for climbers to do a deadlift. So far the score is 1-0. The next movement is even more untypical for a climber, the bench press. And here it is obvious how much the technique of Magnus was lacking in this movement. So he did 200 pounds and made the right decision to stop at the same time. The soldier pressed 186 easily, and it was enough to win. But again, in such moves as bench press and deadlift, the weight matters a lot. The score was 2-0, and now we are moving to pull-ups. Here the advantage is on side of Magnus. It was decided to do a pull-ups with additional weight of 24.6 pounds, as this weight is used in Norwegian army. Well, the soldier was given a score of 15, as he did not do the pull-up particularly well, and in several repetitions his chin was below the bar. But Magnus started off very confidently, and his pull-ups looked standard. No jerk, chin above the bar, arms fully extended, which is the gold standard, not less. Even in the last reps, Magnus reached very high and fixed the movement. He managed to do 25 reps, and it's a solid victory. The last move was a full amplitude body press, and trust me, it's harder than it looks. The main criterion is to fully unbend and then bend by touching your legs with your elbows. And the minimum the soldier has to do is 16 repetitions. And the soldiers are also given a special rubber band that they hold behind their hands while doing this movement to avoid spreading their arms and cheating during this exercise. Well, the first was Magnus, and no complaints about the technique. According to him, the first 20 were very easy, and then the body suddenly refused to lift. Nevertheless, he was able to do 26 times to complete failure. The soldier did 23, and he had less good technique. And the final score of this fight was 2-2. As you see, rock climber is not only about strong and enduring arms. Athletes of this discipline are extremely good in iron and in gymnastics. In addition, they are well trained for statics as well as front hang and cross. And here in this video, Magnus lifted on one finger 223 pounds from the ground, and the world record in this movement is 270 pounds. It remains to test Magnus' running endurance and finally find out how long he can hang on the spinning bar. For me personally, that was the most interesting test in this episode. In the video with the standard of American SEALs, Magnus has already performed a run at 3 miles. I will not show you the standards in full, but I will focus on the run and the time in which the athlete managed to overcome this distance. And he did it in 18 minutes and 40 seconds. If you are a runner, write in the comments. What do you think about this result and how fast do you run? I specifically googled this test, and judging by the standards, anything under 25 minutes is good, 18 minutes is great, and anything under 15 minutes is only for elite athletes who run on a regular basis. Alright, everything that we have watched so far either does not concern foreign climbers at all, or only partially activates their abilities. But here is where the potential of these athletes should really come out. It's in regular hang. If you look at the fingers of Magnus, you see that over the years of training they are simply constantly in a bent state, and in order to unbend them, he has to make some effort. Same problem, but with arms usually faced arm wrestlers. Let's remember, for example, the arms of Denis Teplinkov.
I like this just because of all the climbing I've done. It's like, yeah, like all my fingers like this. This is the most comfortable position for them to be in. And then this is like, I have to, I mean,
you have to push it.
I have to push them out for them to look normal.
Yeah, because when he actually,
like
when normal people do like this when they're explaining something, Magnus will be like.
So, in the absence of a special rotating bar, Magnus took an ordinary chin-in bar, which is placed in a doorway, and put it through a plastic tube. They decided to hang the chin-in bar also on rubber bands, which in the end made this task even more difficult, because in this way there were a double rotation. Let me remind you that on attractions, as the standard, people use 100 seconds, which is almost impossible for most people. Overall, Magnus was able to hang for 2 minutes and 22 seconds, which is exactly what I needed to prove. After 2 minutes, every second is given hard, and this is a professional climber, so what can be said about the average person? But that's not the finish of an experiment. After Magnus, another climber tries his hand, and here the result was just crazy. I suggest you watch the whole thing in a slightly speed up format. Almost 3 minutes. This is really crazy result, which can definitely be achieved by a very small number of people. After all, the grip of these guys is really well developed. And I remind you that you can also train with our project and professional calisthenic coaches. So if an athletic and functional physique is exactly what you need, just go to the link in the description. Especially for you, we have prepared a presentation video which clearly explains how our programs differ from analogs and why we should be trusted. And also subscribe to the Magnus channel. I will also leave a link in the description. With you as always was Fyodor Chepki. See you soon. Goodbye.